close Realflow, open back my project. Okay. Also, just in case if you didn't save this Cinema 4D project, you can always go to plugins, Realflow, as the import object, and go to your documents, Realflow, scenes, your scene, and here under objects, this animation.sd. So since I already have this, I don't need to open this SD file. So now I will just go to plugins, Realflow, mesh the import. Under file path, again I will go to my documents, Realflow, scene folder, meshes, and you only need to load this first one. Okay, and here is our mesh. I'll just increase timeline to 200 frames. Okay. And now we can start adding some textures to our scene. So I just don't want to waste time creating textures. So this is only basic tutorial. We can just simply use Google with some finished pictures. So for example, just type in sand texture seamless, go to images, and find some good looking texture. Oh, something like this will be just fine. It looks nice. I will just save it as sand. And also I will need some rock texture. Something like this will be fine. And just call it rock. Oh, hold on. Like this. And we can go back to Cinema 4D. Double click here to create new material. Select texture. Select this sand. Again double click, select texture, and choose this rock. Select both materials and disable this reflectance channel since we don't need this. Okay. Now we can just drag and drop this material on landscape. Maybe increase tiles and set seamless, and also drag and drop on these rocks. Now I will again enable this mesh, and I will load my custom material for water, which will be also available in video description, because I don't want you to waste 20 minutes on creating this material. So I will just use, what was the latest one? I think this one. And first of all, under reflection layer, I will just disable this. Oh, it is already disabled, okay. If you enable this and add some transparency color, you will get better results, but it will take more time to render, so I usually don't use this for this kind of tutorials. Okay, here we have color properties. We will just take a look quickly how does it look right now. So I will first change my renderer to V-Ray, since this is V-Ray material. Oops, I didn't apply it, sorry. Again, drag and drop on this mesh. Normally we need to add some lights to our scene, so we can just go to infinite light, right click to add V-relate, press R to rotate, I'll try to make some good lighting source. Well, let's see how does it look like now. Maybe I'll have to decrease bump scale to around 4 centimeters, and maybe also add physical sky, but only the sun. And let's see how does it look like. Oh yes, it looks nice. So I'll just make sure everything is good enough. I'll just play around with light like this. As you can see, it looks really nice for now. So just show you the way how you can change this material. You can always adjust this bump, and main thing is this refraction layer. So all you have to do is play with these settings. Volume, color, it depends on your whatever you want to, and this amount. I will just copy this value, and for example I will decrease this to 0.3, maybe on 0.9. Now it needs much more. Something like this, for example. This is for some shallow simulations, for example. But I want to add some depth to this water, so I will just stick with previous value like this. So yes, it will just look fine. Okay, so result is pretty nice for this tutorial. So now I will just load Krakatoa PRT particles. I will just go to my, again, waves folder, but this time we need to go to particles, PRT, again just load first file. Next thing you have to do is go to coordinates and set these values to 100. Okay. And for example, if I hide this VDB mesh, you can see that here we have our formed particles. Maybe I will just have to move it up a bit, just like this. Okay. Again, I will save my project files like this. And now I will just first render these Krakatoa particles, since it will take less time than this mesh. Okay, so I will just quickly change this to Krakatoa, and I will hide physical sky and this light, and also this mesh, since we don't need it. And what is important to do is to add on this rocks and landscape, right click, Krakatoa text, Krakatoa mesh. I will add it on this channel, also on this, and here just in case. Like this. It is really important to add these mesh attributes, because for example if you don't add them, you will see foam behind this rock, which isn't realistic, so keep this on every object you have. Okay, so let's see short preview. Maybe I will just add regular lights like this. Yes, this should be nice. And I will just go to render settings. Under output I will just select some really, basically I'll just keep this resolution. It will take less render time. If you want to render whole animation, you just select all frames. But since this is only tutorial, I will render, for example, from 170 to ends. So that will be 30 frames, which will be equal to 1 second. Okay. And I will just change format to PNG. Go to file. I will create new folder on my desktop and I will call it render foam. And file will be called image. Okay, so we don't need multipass image, and we can just finally click render to picture viewer. As you can see, this Krakatoa really goes quickly, and it will take only a few minutes to render. Also, what is really important, you will have to keep camera in same angle, because otherwise it won't work. We have some really nice details right here. And it is already done. Let's check for these pictures. So here are they. Soon we will convert them to a video file. So as I said, it is important to have a camera in the same angle. Maybe we should add camera like this and enable it, and just keep it like this all the time and don't move it. But you don't need it if you are, unless if you are doing some movements or so. Okay, so now I will just hide this light and these particles. I will again enable physical sky light and hybrid mesh. I will go back to my render settings. I will switch back to V-Ray bridge and disable multipass. Under save, I will make new folder on desktop. Here is a render foam, and now I will create render mesh. And again, it will be called image. Under output, again, if you want whole animation, select all frames. If you want on current frame, select this. I want only the last 30 frames. And that should be it. I will just run render. And this will take much more time because it is mesh, not particles. I will just see how many seconds it will take for this frame. So it takes almost half a minute per frame, compared to Krakatoa, which takes 1 second. So I'll be back after this is finished.